水
Mizu.
コーヒ
Gohi. Yes.
ー水
Konnichiwa, and welcome to another tutorial video. I have the pleasure of having another session with Will Butcher, who you all know as Butcherandom. Really excited to share this with you. This is my expansion into the next alphabet, Katakana. I think that, you know, if you're learning along with me or you're watching my journey, you'll see that I'm really making some leaps at this point. We're starting to speak full phrases and sentences and taking on some challenging aspects of the Japanese language, including seeing multiple alphabets at the same time. So I'm going to skip to that, and afterwards we're going to talk about what's upcoming. Later this week you should see an update video. That's going to include information about the first test. I'm going to be speaking with 3 different people. I'm really looking forward to everybody watching that and having an opportunity to see how the Japanese lessons are actually going and learning. It's interesting to see that now I have like really delved into just studying, and it's really where my focus is right now. I know that if I'm going to be successful in the myultimatesweat challenge, I really have to learn the phrases and the capacity to have some dialogue with people, and so I'm ready for everybody to see that in action. So cut to the tutorial now. I hope that you guys enjoy that and learn something about katakana from Will, and then afterwards I'll talk a little bit more about those tests. Thanks.
So yeah, introduction to katakana. This is an alphabet that is akin to hiragana phonetically. It is all the same sounds, doesn't change in any way. Essentially, this is the alphabet for loan words. They essentially stole or borrowed Chinese characters and then repurposed them for their own language. That is true of any word that hasn't been around for a while. So like all modern technology is very likely to have a loan word involved in it. Like all the sports basically. Starting at the top of the row, just the word sports is just sports. So you see what they're doing. They're just taking an English word or a word from another language. They're applying their syllables to how it sounds to them the way they were initially introduced to it. And they're sounding it out. All right, this is a good test. We'll try this one. So it's cake. Cake.
I just thought it would be kako.
Kako?
Like K-A-K-O.
No. So what you're doing is you're hearing in English, it's cake.
Yeah.
We have ka, ki, ku, ke, ko.
Okay.
And the closest vowel sound to cake in English is the ke
Yeah, K.
syllable. So
Yeah.
the first one's going to be ke.
Yeah, K. And then I was saying keiko. So what's the ko? Yeah.
That's give it a shot.
That I'm so far off, huh?
No?
Oh.
Cake
Yeah.
Keiki
Ki.
Keiki. Oh.
Ki.
Ki.
Yep.
Interesting. Got it. Huh. Keiki. I'm going to stop here and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Let's go.
Is katakana ever used for native Japanese words?
Yes.
And why would that ever happen, and under what circumstances?
If you're using katakana to write out a Japanese word, like a very Japanese word, then you're trying to bring attention to it. It's used in like advertising. It's used in like manga, comic books, you know.
Would there be scenarios where a single word or phrase will both have hiragana and katakana in the same word or phrase mixed?
Absolutely, all the time.
Okay.
When you start seeing the Japanese language, like as in its raw form, you will be literally reading 3 alphabets at once. Kanji with hiragana with katakana. And the reason that these exist is because if, let's say they just had hiragana, like kanji and katakana don't exist for a moment. If you just put in hiragana, keiki o tabemasu, it becomes way more difficult to identify parts of speech to the point where it would just look like you wouldn't know where to intonate. You wouldn't know what you're looking at hardly.
What you just described is why English is so hard to learn.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't exist in English. We just know because we train ourselves and memorize that.
Right. Definitely true. I had never thought of that, but yes, that is definitely true. Right. I just described learning English and why it's so absurd.
All right, everybody. I hope that you were able to learn some katakana from Will. I know that he took over the video in this one, and I really appreciate his time. I am grateful that he is able to teach me in a way that I'm so able to understand what he's talking about and able to take the concepts and use them moving forward. I do want to take just a second and say thank you for everybody that's been interacting with me and following me on Twitter at Manuel. Later this week, we are going to have an update video in which I'm going to be talking about the upcoming test. The test video is going to be a little bit longer, but I'm really excited about the opportunity to talking to some people on video so everybody can see. I really think that I came up with a really interesting way to make the information that I'm learning quantifiable in a way that everybody else can see where I've started and kind of where I've come. So thank you again. Look forward to talking to everybody this week, and matane.